这位 speaker 叫做 David Shing 哈，他呢是 Oath 公司的数位先知，这不是我的形容词，这是他真正的职衔啊。然后呢，他要跟我们分享的呢是一个非常有趣的题目，叫做 Innovation is out。Innovation 创新已经过时了 ，Invention is in， 到底是什么意思呢 ？Let's welcome our first speaker, David Shing， 欢迎他。
Is the extent of my Chinese. Hello. Thank you. It's an absolute honor to be here today. The Big Idea Chair. Here's what's it's fascinating for me to think about the big idea. The big idea ultimately is going to be a number of ideas which are going to be reinforced by my colleagues. It's an honor to be in Taiwan because it's my first time here. But I'm half Chinese and I can't speak a word of Chinese, which is challenging because when I go to Asia, you all look at me like I should speak the language and I can't, which is challenging for me when I go everywhere else because they just think I'm an Australian. So enough of me, and I want to talk about this quote. And those of you who are wearing a translation, I'm sorry, because I speak quickly. But I want to just be able to give you some ideas that I hopefully are going to be reinforced by the rest of the big ideas that are come this afternoon. Cool? Cool. This quote, love this. There are absolutely no passengers on Spaceship Earth. We are all crew. And what I mean by that is that this industry is hard, man. It is not easy to be part of the amazing digital economy today. It's incredibly difficult. And that's why we, as an organization, created a new brand of the assets of Yahoo and AOL together, and that is Oath. And there are only two things I care about at Oath, and it's creativity and it's culture. Actually, the other third one, though, is really about the code. So the creativity and the culture come from the code. The code allows us to do all of the things that we love to manifest. So those two things together, in the middle of it, is creativity, and that's what I want to talk about with you guys for a few minutes today. So here we go. With that, the statement of innovation versus invention is true. I don't believe they're the same. People use them interchangeably. Stop it. Here's why. Invention is really about creation, and innovation is about change. And we're in a place now where so much has changed that the only thing that's left is to innovate. But what really needs to happen is the ability for us to invent new ways to engage with the people, invent new ways to touch the human. Because at the heart of it, at the heart of all of this, is all of this sort of stuff. So in the last 2 years, when people corner me at restaurants or at bars, this is all they want to talk about. Terrible. The one thing that left our industry a couple of years ago was this. I preferred it when it was fun, man. But today, we're in a place where we have to think about culture as it was. So let's just do a quick show of hands. Who had one of these as a kid? Who owned a Walkman? Anybody? Yes. Those of you too young, that's a Walkman. You can Google that shit later. This young lady here. My God, the youth. Who still uses this? Nobody. Because Walkman, Sony had their asses kicked by iPod. And it's incredible because by the time Sony understood the culture of the digital economy, when it came to digital experiences across music, it was too late. If you go too far the other way and only worry about code, you end up with Google Glass. Now, I love Google. Don't get me wrong. I think Google are a great company. But they don't always invent really good things. This is a horrible product. If you want no friends at drinks tonight, wear these around Taipei. I promise you, you'll have your own streets to yourself. It's incredibly disconnected from how humans want to interact. And it's wonderful to think about we have the options to understand how cultures can be blended. Now, when I walk around the streets, as I have done in Taipei, it's amazing, incredibly amazing how active people are on mobile experiences, right? And it's incredible when I really look at what's happening there, because there's no keyboard big enough for the Chinese language. So you're starting to talk about these cultures of words differently. Now, the word that was entered in the Oxford Dictionary in 2014 was selfie. It's incredible how people still want to take photographs of the self. But what's really interesting is the official word in 2015 was a tear of joy emoji. Not the word emoji, but that object was in the dictionary. Now we've all can communicate the same. We've transcended language, and we've transcended really the words of culture, and now we're using images of culture to express human need. Because that's the key to it. If we think about what's really happening here, we're really thinking about how to actually do two things and how to imagine things in the future, because imagination is more important than knowledge. This is a quote by a genius. This is by Einstein. Now, Einstein, yes, he invented the quantum theory, or discovered the quantum theory. He did not invent it, that would be God. But he discovered the quantum theory. But he was also a classically trained violinist, like Yo-Yo Ma. Amazing, concert-level violinist. So I'm telling you, the big idea is to stop just doing one thing and make sure you are an artist and a scientist together, because that's the job. That's the reality of what we should be doing in one person. We need to exercise both sides of our brains to be effective humans to target other humans. You could rely on Harvard. This is the school of thinking for Harvard. They think this is the way to actually target people. Strivers, believers, makers, achievers. This is one way to target humans. The other way is to think about Maslow. Now, Maslow was a guy who thought in the 40s this is what humans are. They need these things: esteem, shelter, love, safety, etc. The only thing missing from this slide is high-speed internet. Other than that, we're good. But what I do know is technology is changing our behavior. But what it's not doing is changing our need. Our need is rooted in the DNA of us as humans. There are some things that technology is never going to be able to change for us. But we need to understand who this connected human is. Who are these connected humans that we're trying to actually think about? Is it this guy in the VR space? Is it AR? Is it this, which is MR? Now for you guys, this is virtual reality, augmented reality, then there's mixed reality. And my colleague Jessica is going to talk about those, but the one that I prefer out of all of those is RR, real reality. It's what we're doing today. Nothing can replace the need to be with humans, man, thank God. But this is what people talk about. They think this is the human you're trying to target. Oh, dear God. But what I do think is amazing is that virtual reality, I'm just going to touch on my version of it just for a moment. I think virtual reality is incredible. Who has tried virtual reality on in here? Yay. Who owns a pair of the goggles? You own virtual reality goggles, young lady? Yes? Do you own a pair? What are they? They're Google? Oh, the Google ones. Cardboard. Cardboard. The number one manufacturer of VR hardware today, Google. Cardboard. It costs 2 cents. But you still need a $700 phone to make that shit work. It's free. See, cheap. But what's amazing about VR is that it's an incredible experience when you have it on. And that's why we love the power of the content that's driving the VR experience. Now, here's what's also amazing. Today, if you go and watch a film and you laugh and I cry, nothing can change. It's a director's point of view. But the power of that immersive experience enables you to choose your own adventure. It enables you to go into a world that we're not used to. And what's also amazing about that is that you have other types of realities. This is augmented. You guys have seen both of these. Virtual reality, augmented reality, been around 20 years, long time. Augmented reality is amazing because it's fast, it's inexpensive, and it's shareable. Some people really love that. People like to share stuff, so AR experiences are shareable. However, sometimes reality is even more important. If you think about bringing reality together, China is leading the pack. China is developing dedicated hardware to bring the physical and digital world together. And this is an amazing experience for children because their hands can actually hold these products. They're not like holding a camera phone awkwardly. These are dedicated products to bring digital and physical together, and China is leading the pack. But again, I still believe that reality sometimes is even better. Check it.
This is the Jaguar F-Type simulator. It's just sitting on a 6-axis hydraulic platform here. Roll you around, lift up, down.
How rough are we getting that?
Once you're wearing this helmet, that's really going to simulate exactly what it's going to be like on the track.
Very cool.
Make sure you brace yourself. Good luck.
Okay, Glenn, I'm about to start the ride.
Welcome to Jaguar Virtual Simulator. A full sensory experience combined with so keep hold of the grab handles. Are you ready to experience the power of Jaguar F-Type?
And you all know what happens next. She shits herself. It's amazing what can happen when the reality of your brand is maybe even better than these other experiences that we have. One of those things that we talk about is IoT. Taiwan, wow. Talk about wanting to be a leader of the pack of this. By 2025, your market is estimated to be $34 billion. That's a massive marketplace. But it's not about things. It's about emotions. Connecting people through hardware to emotively connect them. That's what we're really talking about here, and you guys look like you're going to lead the pack. Technologies like this. This is a product that monitors your sleep pattern, so it can distinguish the difference between a dog barking and a car alarm going off at 2:30, so you can do something about the data it collects. To this, these are things that are voice-controlled activations in your home, brought to you by Apple, Amazon, Google. Or these sort of products like Flick. These are little tiny buttons that do a number of things that your phone does today, but can be done without a screen. How about this? This is an incredible product. This is a temporary tattoo. This is RFID chip. You already have it in a lot of the things that you have in your wallets today. But this is on your skin. Lasts 2 weeks. So the things you normally need a screen and a keyboard for can happen by temporary tattoos. In fashion, gold and silver. Chinese market. But what I do find is that the other market that people are trying to understand is a wearable space. Now again, I think your market has been late to this. Fitbit only came here in 2014. And when you think about the wearable space is really about measuring everything. When I meet with these companies, they say that they are in the data business. They don't say they're in fitness or health. And so what's happening is that we're wearing these beautiful objects. Some are targeted towards women, some are targeted towards men. They're beautiful objects. Some look like they're from the future. These are beautiful objects that are all measuring the sort of things that we have. Who has one on right now? Does somebody have a wearable on? Can I ask what you have? Fitbit, right? You have Fitbit. How long have you had that for? Half a year. Anybody else have a wearable on? You don't want to talk to me, right? Like, oh, Jesus, no. Don't talk to me. Please, God, don't put my hand up. Let me ask another question then. Who has one at home? They don't have it on right now. So normally, nobody's going to do that either. So normally what happens, more hands go up for 2 reasons. To adopt a new habit, you have to be prepared to break one. Okay? Second thing is, does the same thing your phone does. So it ran out of battery 6 months ago. Nobody gives a shit if you walk 10,000 steps. So stop socializing. So it's interesting that this is a category that's trying to find a home because it's very similar to what your phone can do today. However, I argue there are some that are unique, like this. Samsung Lab are experimenting with this particular wearable. To make phone calls and listen to voice messages, you hold your ear. It uses your jawline as conductive listening technology. It's probably giving you cancer too, but whatever. And then you've got this. It's called Pavlov. This is a wearable that will shock you if you do something you say you're not going to do. So if you reach for that beer, this will just shock the shit out of you. So this is a different kind of wearable. But what I do know is that there are 290 of them in the fitness category alone. So they're actually everywhere. They're all over our bodies. It's incredible how many of these devices we have on our person. These are all collecting data on us. This is all very important things, including our cats and dogs, particularly in Asia. You guys seem to love cats and dogs and having them wear things and feeding them from other rooms, etc. Crazy. However, check this shit out.
Is that right? Yeah, that's it. Check this out. If a player is tackled, then you get to feel the physical effect of that. But if a player is nervous before a kick, then you get fluttering, you get that kind of sensory experience.
So no longer do you have to go to Disney World. You can sit in your living room and feel the effect of being a footballer. It's incredible. Or if you go the other extreme, you could end up wearing just yoga gear that corrects your composition. So this is yoga pants that actually change your composition so you're doing perfect yoga poses. Or you've got this sort of thing. This is a 3D dress that will morph and change based on the person looking at you and your body language determining whether you want to attract or distract them. Crazy, right? Humans. Okay, what else have we got? Everything, as I already said, has built-in intelligence. People are trying to target you when, where, what, why, and how, particularly with these different devices, particularly if the wearable web is coming, particularly as we started with cinema, and then we went television, and then we went mobile phone, and now we're told to market on this. Good luck. But here's the deal. So what? Good question. The so what is you are in the business today, in this room, of sight, sound, and motion to create emotion, because 75% of purchase decisions are made emotionally. We sell to the heart to justify to the head. And these 4 Ps, as a marketer, you learned. Well, they're old school. These were invented in the 40s. They've been updated to other 4 Ps that are more closely aligned to our business. Pedigree, partnership, performance, platform. All of which we have. All of which you have. And times have changed. So I'm Australian. That's the country I'm from. That's the house I grew up in. That's my family. I'm one of 10 kids. That's me, 16. Chinese Catholics, unstoppable. Holy shit. But what's amazing is that at 17, I bought my first car. And that's my generation. But today, 37% of children under the age of 2 can operate swiping devices better than the parent. When they give them analog, they think it's broken. Amazing. Amazing, huh? No longer is it about consumers consuming content. Those days are dead and buried. It's now about the creator, the critic, and the curator of experiences, the /gen. Most of you in this room believe you're this: a blogger, an artist, a stylist, a fashionista, an ambassador, influencer, and an amplifier of a brand if you give them permission to do so. And it's incredible because you're told you're no longer in the advertising business. You're in the content business. Okay. It's incredible because if you're in the content business, you now compete against popular culture. Like this, because the audiences now have an audience. The life of content should start when you publish. That's a big idea because this is what you're competing against. Second tallest building in Hong Kong. There are more people dying from extreme selfies and shark attacks. It's incredible the extremes that people go to express themselves. This generation is not a throw-up. They're more social than we've ever seen. They're more about closed networks, though. It's not about the open social network, and it's not about popularity. It's about intimacy. It's about having deeper relationships with people than ever before. Let me give you an example. So clearly, for mainland, you use WeChat. And when you think about it, it's all about this messaging system. And this messaging system can work for intimacy. Look at Dior. They sold this bag, only available in WeChat, sold out 48 hours, cost $4,200 US. You guys are crazy. You spend a shitload of money on messaging, virtual goods. It's incredible what e-commerce can do. It's amazingly awesome, the opportunity that we have. But what about adults, young adults' beliefs? They want to achieve happiness. They want to spend time with their family and friends. They want to be true to themselves and financially stable. The values are actually not new. They're old. But the way they consume is new. And they represent a massive spend, 2.45 by 2025. Amazing spend. But they're bored. This generation is bored. Why? Because they live their life through screens. So they want to be entertained. They want to be entertained. And that's an opportunity for us in this media space. And the okay for you is this. Every brand wants to target every person. And then they want to have an intimate relationship at the same time. That's hard. That's where creativity has to be reinvented. It has to be redefined to understand what human needs are. Because guess what? The bad news is it's overwhelming. You are hit with 1,900 media messages alone. You turn on Taiwanese TV, well, that number must be in the thousands. You love your 24-hour news channels. And then it's underwhelming because you can't find what you're looking for. So that's the power of where we are. One of the largest contributors to stress today is media overload. So the stuff you're producing on behalf of the brands you represent is stressing people out and killing them. Just kidding. But what we do care about, honestly, is attention. You only have 24 hours in the day, but how you assign your attention is how good we are at this device, which you are amazing at. But we all suffer from the same problem, tech neck. And tech neck is a real thing. In this country, 85% of the population is mobilely connected. That means there's still opportunity for growth, and that's amazing for us. And that's where the heat is. How do you reflect back cultural change as marketing? That's the secret. If you can reflect back cultural change as marketing, you then become empathetic. You start to align with the human, and then they will fall in love with you deeper than ever before. Because it used to be just about ads and a little bit of content. And now it's just all about content, a little bit of ads. And then now, when I speak to brands, all they want to do is hijack the internet and create emotion curves. Terrible. Sugar hit. We need to create more ripples. We need to sustain people's mind about your brand and why they should care about you as a service. And everything is about the context. Build good content, put it in smart places. Easy to say, tremendously difficult to do. But that's the opportunity for us. And the opportunity, I think, is about video, of which you are freaky for. And by the way, if you don't like video, too bad. All of the social platforms across the universe are forcing you to become really good at video. So if you're not good at it, partner, sponsor, power, bring it. There are different ways to associate with content apart from just purely producing it. But if you are producing it, understand that most people love it. And we don't care whether it's short, long, mid. We just deeply care about how to connect with people and brands through emotion and video. Like this. Six seconds. No words. No cultural barriers. Amazing. But I beg you to understand that this word is the most abused. This is a crazy word that we use everywhere. The word of 17 that I hear is experience. The word of 16 was innovation or disruption. But the word I hear consistently every single year, forever in a day, is storytelling. And I ask you, please, it's less about the telling and stay focused on the story. Why should people care about you as a brand of service? And why do you turn up when they need you? And how can you actually support them in the way that they need to as humans?
The night can't stand the light. One day I'll fly away, leave all this to yesterday. What more can your love do for me? When will love be through with me? Why live life from dream
pretty cool emotional piece done by one of the largest retailers in the UK, John Lewis. They're trying to move as much product as humanly possible off the shelves at Christmas time. But guess what? They didn't showcase any product. They sold to the heart to justify to the head. And in this world of multimedia distraction, mind share equals market share. And I know you have 11/11 coming. I know single day is coming. It's going to be all about products jammed at you as quickly as possible. Think about 364 other days of the year where people need to think about your brand. And if you're true and transparent and open to the power of the internet, you can even end up with something as crazy as this shit. We can't play that in America. Or even this. Check this out. So look, it doesn't matter whether you do something that's highly polished, that's reflective of your brand, or you allow people to spoof you, or you allow people to user-generate content around your brand. Again, mind share equals market share. So I applaud you that the big idea for you is to fundamentally understand what your brand is as a service, at the DNA of the brand, and why humans should care. And with that, to walk halfway around the world to come see you is an absolute honor and a pleasure with you. But here is my most favorite quote ever, and it's by the actress Katharine Hepburn, which is, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the damn fun. And isn't that the reason we became creatives? Shishi, thank you.
好，谢谢 David 的分享啊。刚刚我在底下呢看到最后的那个川普的那个改编版啊，我不知道David 是不是要欢迎川普到亚洲来啊，所以做了一个这样的影片。但是大家刚刚听到了 David 的分享里面有几个非常重要的点，我希望在这里帮各位一起思考一下。在我刚刚听的时候，几个重点。第一个是，人永远是活在故事里的，所以你最后看到那只狗，还有那个孩子，还有那些动物，其实大家分享了同样的感情。我在前面的 PPT 里面看到了几个字啊，第一个，他把 virtual 或 augmented 或是这个 MR 全部变成了换了一个字。这个字它用的是 real reality 哈，那换句话说，我们有没有思考过这些我们所谓的 reality 跟我们真正的 reality 的关联性？所以那个 Jaguar 的那个影片呢，让人明明坐在一个真实的车子里，可是你告诉他是VR 的时候，他的整个感觉跟整个反应，我们全场观众都笑了。那个影片我一定要找出来看看后面发生什么事。当他发现原来他刚刚体会的是真的的时候，所以做任何广告、任何行销，绝对不要忘记那个真实的 emotion。所以不是 IoT， 是 IOE。不是 motion， 是 emotion， 所以那个情感能够被找到的时候，我们的行销就会是很成功的啊。